Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Many Mahatmas have divided the thought of Bhagavad Gita in three aspects. One is the Tvam Pada Pradhan, where attention is focused on the Tvam in the Tattvamasi Mahavakya or Aham Pada in the Aham Brahmasmi Mahavakya. This forms the first 6 chapters. Then some Mahatmas say that the second 6 chapters, 6 to 12, they focus attention on the Tat Pada or the Brahma Pada. Aham Brahmasmi or Tat Tvamasi. So that Tat Pada. And the last 6 chapters, starting from 13 to end, is the establishment of oneness between the Tat and the Tvam, or Aham and the Brahma. And this is how Bhagavad Gita talks of the Brahmatmaikya Bodha. And therefore Bhagavad Gita is called as the Shastra. In the 15th chapter, Bhagavan himself calls that this is the Shastra where everything is exhaustively dealt with. We have seen in the first 7 chapters what has to be done by the seeker, what should be his lifestyle with reference to the world, how one should live in this world to evolve and discover one's essential nature. That is the theme of first 6 chapters. We are not going to live in this world only for indulgence, bhoga, or for suffering, roga. And therefore, the purpose of the first 6 chapters is to guide the seeker in such a manner that you function in the outer world, but let your attention be on the purification of your mind. So through the Karma Yoga, the law of karma is conquered. See, these are 2 things. Many people do not make them clear in their understanding. One is the karma principle or the law of karma. Now the law of karma is that whenever you do anything with the sense of doership, with the desire to get the results of the action, then we get in the law of karma, and as a result the relative existence continues. This is the law of karma. Now what is said? To get out of the law of karma, practice karma yoga. Now what is the karma yoga? Karma yoga is living or abiding in the law of karma without getting caught up in the law of karma. Therefore, yogaha karmasu kaushalam. So we will have to continue to live, abide in the law of karma, but there is a way by which we can get out of the limitations of law of karma. Now what are those? That is called as a karma yoga. And what is karma yoga? Karma yoga is that our attention is not on the results outside. When the attention of our karma is searched, evaluated, found outside in terms of gain or loss, we are getting caught up in the law of karma. But when the results of our activities, interactions in this world are evaluated in terms of what is happening to the instrument of mind, then we are practicing the karma yoga. And therefore, who is a karma yogi? Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So karma yoga is the technique of living in the law of karma in such a manner that our mind or the heart becomes purer and purer. Then the question comes, what is the purity of the heart? So to understand the purity of the heart, in the 5th chapter the teacher started the theme that there are two things. Up to the 4th chapter we were told, Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. How do we perform? We perform in this world mukta sangha, without any attachment, and samachara perfectly well. But while doing this thing, we should be aware that we do not create the kartrutva abhiman. Therefore, in the 5th chapter we were told, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manneta tattvavit. That the doership is rejected. This should be the practice of the seeker of the truth. After this is done in the interactive, dynamic lifestyle, now this knowledge which we are practicing in the dynamic lifestyle, this has to be consolidated on the seat of meditation. So in the 6th chapter then, consolidation of this knowledge is gained by self-control over our senses, mind, etc. And then after having consolidated this knowledge by control over the mind, etc., what is the type of consolidation of this knowledge? So the consolidation ultimately culminates into the Brahmatmaikya Bodha. This is how in the 31st verse the teacher comes to this conclusion. Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajati ekatvam sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. This is the asi pada, tattvam asi. Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam pashyati ekatvam astitaha. So sarva bhuta sthitam, the tatpada, and bhajati ekatvam astita, I is one with that. So this is the tattvam asi, the oneness between the two. Before that the teacher spoke of these two, sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha, and yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. So this 29th verse is the tvam pada pradhan, the 30th verse is the tat pada pradhan, and the 31st verse is the tattvamasi mahavakya completion. So this sarva bhuta sthidam yomam bhajati ekatvam astitaha sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. This is the ultimate that is to be attained for the seeker of truth. So this is how, starting our spiritual practice from the self as a relative responsible individual, we culminate in the absolute non-relational reality and not as an individual. This was the first 6 chapters. Now this is not possible for everybody all the time. Then the option was given. What is the option? Option is, when you are functioning in the world, that time do not function merely for the purification of your heart, but change the purpose of your life. What is the changing the purpose of our life? We can change the purpose of our life if our vision changes. See, vision, practice is purpose, worked for. So if the vision is that everything is Paramatma, and for that, in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan brought the theme of the Tatpada. So there he spoke of Apara Prakriti, and that which is beyond the Apara Prakriti. Thereafter he told that what is absolute? Absolute is, like we have seen in our Shvetashvatar Upanishad Bhashya, the absolute is Mattaha Parataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Maniganaiva. Absolute reality is Mattaha Parataram, there is no cause of me. Mattaha Anyat, there is nothing like me. And Mattaha Kinchit, there is no effect of me. So I am beyond cause and effect. There is but one absolute reality. After having told this in the 7th chapter, in the initial pages, then Bhagavan gave us the addresses where to discover or practice this abhyasa of devotion. Changing the vision is devotion. Changing the instrument is karma yoga. So instruments are changed by two ways, karma and yoga marga. They are meant for polishing of the instrument. And bhakti is the one which is for polishing the vision. So vision is Raso hamapsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoho pranavas sarva vedeshu shabdakke paurusham nrishu punyo gandha prithivyancha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. 15 examples are given where we are told to develop a vision to see the divinity in this world. After that was done, then in the 8th chapter again, this topic was brought from the Gati point of view. When the seeker thus starts seeing this divinity in everything, yet one problem remains in him. What is that? The problem of duality. And because of the problem of duality remains, therefore for him the Janma, Marana, Gati, going to hell, going to heaven is brought out. But during that also the teacher very clearly told, Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Therefore the jiva should not be satisfied by going to hell or heaven, or by going to the Dhumra Marga or the Shukla Marga, by the dark or the bright path, or should not be satisfied with the Dakshinayan and Uttarayan. These are all in the relative world. It has nothing to do with absolute reality. To bring it in the 9th chapter again, Bhagavan says, Maya tatamidam, what he says in 9th chapter, Guhya tamam, Raja Guhya, Raja Vidya Yogonam. This is the supreme secret. What is the supreme secret? Supreme secret is Maya tatavidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nachaham tishvavastitaha nacha mastani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. This is the supreme secret, meaning there is but one absolute attributeless reality, and that has to be recognized as one's own being. Now for that, what is the technique? The technique is total surrender of the ego, which was discussed as a jiva in the 8th chapter. Now how do we do that? Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. The whole technique of dissolving the jiva bhava is devotion. And after that is done, such a devotee is again given exercise. Like exercises are given in devotion for what? Take the mala in the hand and go on chanting the Lord's name. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. This is abhyas. Now in the same manner, when you are moving in this world, see different categories. In every category, find out the Godhood. So in this manner, among the trees, among the plants, among the rivers, among the mountains, among the human beings, among the different expressions of life, 73 examples the Lord has given. And he also said, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. I am the essence of everything in this world. In this manner, having told in the 10th chapter, what was told in the essence of 10th chapter? Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoveti tatvataha saha avikampena yogena yujjate natra samchayaha. So, 10th chapter tells us this analytical vision of the reality to assimilate in life. Analytical vision is vibhuti and assimilation is the yoga. After having told this in the 10th chapter, in the 11th chapter, Bhagavan told how everything is in one, and yet none of them are in the absolute reality. So, to explain that, in this 11th chapter, all possible views were taken into consideration. First was Saguna Sakar, then the Saguna Nirakar, and then the Nirgun Nirakar. And then we were told that whichever is your ability, you practice. Ultimately is man mana bhavapat bhaktaha madhya jima anumaskuru mame vashyasi satyam te. So you shall definitely come to me if your mind is focused on me, whichever way. Saguna Sakar, okay. Saguna Nirakar, okay. Nirgun Nirakar, okay. Doesn't matter. But focus your mind on me. That is the most important. So from the 11th chapter end, the Bhavana Abhyas is given. Then in the 12th chapter we have seen recently that the teacher told that there are two options. As long as we consider ourselves to be with the body, with the form, with the name, for such dehavadbhihi, it is not easier to do the Akshara Upasana, to practice the devotion to the attributeless absolute reality. And for them, therefore, it is necessary that they practice the Upasana with the Upasana of the Lord with the attributes. For that, the technique was given, Mayyeva Manadasva, or Abhyasa Yoga, or Madartham Karma Kurvan, or Sarva Karma Phalatyagat. 4 options were given. And after that, he who has thus practiced this Upasana, he will ultimately end up in dissolving his individuality in the Absolute. And in this manner, he who has come to this Akshara Tattva, what will be his expressions of life? That is explained in the last 8 verses. Adveshta Sarva Bhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha, through these verses. And then in the last verse, the 8th verse, that is the 20th verse of the 12th chapter, the teacher said that this all becomes the spiritual practice for the seeker of truth. Therefore, yetu dharmyamrutamidam yathoktam pariupasate. So those who practice this as the spiritual practice, shraddadhana mat parama bhaktasteti vame priyaha, they are really, really dear to me, because although they have not known, but they have the capability and sincerity to dedicate and devote themselves to the absolute truth through the devotion. With this we concluded the 12th chapter. Now the last leg of Bhagavad Gita is the third quarter, not the third quarter, the third part, and that is from the 13th to the 18th chapter. Now what is the theme in general in these 6 chapters? The main theme is presented in the 13th chapter. And then it is brought out more exhaustively in the 14th chapter, and finally concluded in the 15th chapter. Then in the 16th and the 17th chapter, which are the helpful supports for attainment of this ultimate gain explained in the 13th, 14th and 15th chapter. And then in the 18th chapter, there is a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. This is how the complete thought in Bhagavad Gita is presented. Now we enter Trayodashodhyayaha, the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Saptame adhyaye suchite dve prakriti ishvarasya. Now see, prakriti is the dual case. Therefore it is dirgha. Prakritihi, prakriti, prakrutayaha. Matihi, mati, matayaha. So, don't change the spelling. I think Shankaracharya has written something wrong. Prakriti should be rasva. Don't do that. So, Saptame Adhyaye, in the 7th chapter, Ishvarasya dve prakriti suchite. Suchite, how this word has come? Suchita, if it is masculine, suchitaha, suchitau, suchitaha. Now Prakriti is a feminine, therefore mala, male, malaha. So suchita, suchite, suchitaha. Wow, we never knew that. Therefore, don't give up studying Sanskrit. Keep on reading new things, and you really discover such a joy when you are able to understand at the time of reading every the kundali of every word. Then there is a joy. Otherwise we simply read and then Hindi is always there. So Saptame Adhyaye Suchite Dve Prakriti Ishvarasya. So in the 7th chapter, these two Prakritis were indicated. Which were those two Prakritis? We all know what was said by the Lord. Bhumirapo nalo kham mano buddhirevacha ahankarati yamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. So this ashtadha aparatu itas anyam vidhi me prakriti param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So these two Prakritis were told. One is apara prakriti, which is ashtadha, and second is para prakriti, which is ekadha, which is not many. Therefore, jiva bhutam param. There Bhagavan has not used the word that it is also multifarious or ashtadha, but it is ekadha. And on the basis of this is called in the Mandukya Upanishad as the Eka Jivavad. There are not many jivas, and the Eka Jiva also therefore cannot be separated from the Jiva and the Ishvara. It is one and the same. And on the basis of this, our various Upanishads bring out this topic. For example, in Mundoga Upanishad, where it is said, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Rukcham Parishashvajate Tayo Anyaha Pippalam Swadumatti Anashnan Anyaha Vichakashiti, where it is said, when the consciousness is functioning through the limitation and is under the influence of the limitation, it is called as Jiva. When the consciousness is functioning through the limitation and under not the influence of the limitation, but keeping the limitations under control, is called as Ishvara. But the consciousness by itself is never requiring any medium to function. It is independent. That is called as the Brahman. So in this manner, when we understand from the principal point of view, then the Jiva Bhava and many Jivas, all problems will disappear. So, Ishvarasya Trigunatmika Ashtadha Bhinna Apara Samsara Hetutvat Paracha Anya Jiva Bhuta Kshetradnya Lakshana Ishvaratmika. So these were the two Prakritis told. First is Apara Prakriti, and that is Samsara Hetutvat. When you get involved with this Apara Prakriti, then we are caught up in the relativity. And Anya Jiva Bhuta, and what is the Anya Prakriti? That is the Jiva Bhuta. Jiva Bhuta means when consciousness is functioning through the conditioning, the conditioned expressions take place. So there are two things. One is conditioning, Apara Prakriti. Second thing, absolute consciousness functioning through the conditioning as a result of the conditioned expression of the absolute is called as the Para Prakriti. And because of this para prakriti and apara prakriti, the whole world is moving. And out of these, apara prakriti belongs to the samsara, and para prakriti has a choice. Whether you want to live in this world as a jiva or Ishvara or go beyond that. And that is the whole spiritual practice. Now, yabhyam prakriti-bhyam Ishvaraha jagat utpatti sthiti laya hetutvam pratipadyate. Now, by these two prakriti, yabhyam prakriti-bhyam Ishvaraha, Ishwar, the Lord, jagat utpatti sthiti laya hetutvam pratipadyate. So, by these two prakritis, Ishvara starts creating this world, maintaining this world, and ultimately destroying this world. When the world is created, that time the creation takes place because of the presence of the Ishvara. Maya dhakshena prakriti sujate sacharacharam. But after the creation has taken place, then the prakriti takes over and Ishvara becomes subordinate. See? The boy goes and proposes to the girl and they get married. After they get married, she becomes important and he becomes subordinate at the home. Because then she takes over. So wherever there is manifestation, it is always Prakriti Pradhan. Wherever there is unmanifestation, it is Paramatma Pradhan. That is why when we are told in Yoga Shastra, Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha, so all the manifestation is stopped, then Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam, we are established in the Purusha Tattva. This is how it is. So, Yabhyam Prakritibhyam Ishvaro Jagat Utpatti Sthiti Laya Hetutvam Pratipadyate. So, by these two Prakritis, Ishvara is responsible for creation, sustenance and destructions of this world. Tatra Kshetra Kshetrajna Lakshana Prakriti Dvaya Nirupanena Dvarena Tadvat Ishvarasya Tattva Nirdharanartham Kshetradhyayaha Arabhyate. Now, why we have started this 13th chapter called as Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga? Tatra, in this, Kshetra Kshetrajna Lakshana Prakriti Dvaya Nirupana Dvarena, there will be a clear distinction and differentiation and explanation about what is Kshetra and what is the Kshetrajna. What is called as Prakriti in the 7th chapter as a feminine noun is called as the Kshetra as a neuter noun in the 13th chapter. And the same is called as the Kshara Purusha as a masculine in the 15th chapter. See? They are all the same things. So, the feminine Prakriti of the 7th chapter, the neuter Kshetra of the 13th chapter, and the Kshara Purusha of the 15th chapter, they are one. This is how, slowly the thought is developing. If you go on contemplating deeper and deeper, you will come to realize this. Then, the Para Prakriti. Para Prakriti of the 7th chapter, feminine. Then, Kshetrajna of this 13th chapter. And the Purusha, Akshara Purusha of the 15th chapter. They are all the same. So here, these two, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Lakshana, Prakriti, Dvaya, Nirupana, Dvarena. By doing the Nirupana, by explaining, expanding, dilating the details about the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the matter and the spirit, Tadvat Ishvarasya Tattva Nirdharanartham. And after having explained them in detail, then who is Ishvara? Ishvarasya Tattva Nirdharanartham. So what is done in this 13th chapter? The Kshetra Kshetrajna. Then Kshetrajna is with reference to the Kshetra. But if Kshetra disappears, Kshetrajna cannot be Kshetrajna. Then who is he? He is only Jna. jnapti matra. And thus, from the relative, we enter the kingdom of the absolute. This is how, in this 13th chapter, the teacher is going to tell Ishvarasya Tattva Nirdharanartham Kshetra Adhyayaha Arabhyate. We begin this 13th chapter. Atita Anantaradhyaye cha Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Ityadina Yavat Adhyaya Parisamaptihi Tavat Tattva Jnaninam Sannyasinam Nishtha Yathate Vartante Iti Taduktam Kena Punaha Te Tattva-jnanena Yukta Yathokta Dharmacharnat Bhagavataha Priya Bhavanti Iti Evam Arthacha Ayam Adhyaye Arabhyate Adhyayaha Arabhyate. This is another beautiful thought. Bhagavan Shankara says, toward the end of the last chapter, Bhagavan has spoken of Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, 33 qualities. And what was said? Yavat Adhyaya Parisamapti Tavat, up to the end of the 12th chapter, Tattva Jnaninam Sannyasinam Nishtha Yatha Te Vartante Iti Etaduktam. Those who are abiding in this non-dual reality, how they manifest, how they live in this world, that was told. If somebody is, let us say, wise, how he will behave. Somebody is otherwise, how he will behave. Because only from the manifestation only we know. If somebody is not expressing, you cannot know. Suppose you go somewhere and nobody knows you, so you stand there among the many. And then you are called. I remember, this happened where? In Calcutta, I think. Yes. First time when I went there was this Janmashtami. And I went with somebody. I had gone there only for 4 or 5 days, 6 days, not even that. So just to see Janmashtami pendants and all that, I was taken by somebody. Come, I will show you the things. I said, all right, we go. And a huge crowd, bhajan kirtan going on. And I was staying with my friend on the road from a distance. But because of the bright clothes, immediately we become pointed out. So from the mic, one person told that there is somebody, some Mahatma standing there. We do not know who he is, but we request him to come and kindly bless us. Tell us something about Bhagavan Krishna, his Leela, Bhagavad, Bhagavad Gita, etc. in 5 minutes. See how wonderful. So by the time I crossed that ocean and came to the stage, thereafter I spoke for 5 minutes. After that was over, then the whole crowd will say, Swamiji, Swamiji, what is your name? We have not seen you. The moment manifestation comes, you are known. Till then, nothing is known. In the same manner, whether we are wise or otherwise, is known only through manifestation. And what is that manifestation of the wise person? Adveshta sarvabhuta nam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirhankaraha sukha dukkha sama sukha dukkha kshami, etc. So this was said in the last 8 verses. Now the next question is, Kena punaha te tattvajnanena yuktaha yathokta dharmacharanaat bhagavataha priya bhavanti. Now what is that knowledge associated with which they are able to live as the Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, and what is that knowledge associated with which they become so dear to Lord? So that knowledge is to be told. So, Kena Tattvajnanena Yukta Yathokta Dharmacharanat Bhagavataha Priya Bhavanti. Because what is that knowledge because of which they are able to live this kind of life? Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. We cannot start even. Because the first obstacle, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. Leaving these other things I can do. Like one person earlier days, when railway booking was a big problem, told me in Delhi, Swamiji, I want to serve you. Tell me what service I should do. I said, look here, I keep on traveling. My only problem is railway booking. And you are in Delhi, so kindly help me in getting the booking. Swamiji, you can become Prime Minister in Delhi, but you cannot get a railway booking. Other than that, you ask me anything. See? So here, what is that knowledge because of which he is able to achieve this, and when this knowledge is there, what happens to him? So that knowledge about absolute reality is such that which starts manifesting as Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. Only that you don't tell me, Adveshta. Baki sab theek hai. No compromise. So this knowledge, what is that? To tell that evam arthaha cha ayam adhyayaha arabhyate. To tell this knowledge because of which a jnani bhakta is such a great one. Therefore, if you see the discussion or the description of this jnani bhakta, there is no place where there is a place for complaint. See? Jnani bhakta never asks anything to be changed. Like in Vrindavan, they don't ask anything from Bhagavan. They give. Because if one is established in this absolute reality, there cannot be santushta satatam yogi. He is santushta. Therefore, there is nothing to ask. And whatever comes is accepted as the divine grace. And this can be possible only if we are firmly abiding in the truth. This is how when we start devotion as a practice, it is not necessary that we will abide. We may give up. The other day, one mother came and told me, Swamiji, such and such happened to my son-in-law. Suddenly his mother died. She was not very old. And then all the three brothers became very angry with God. Our mother has been doing so much of the God. Why she died? And therefore, unanimously they have decided there is no God. And now, Swamiji, I am worried. My daughter also is not allowed to do any puja at home. I said, that's very good. She can do the puja in her heart. And there her husband cannot enter. Therefore, this kind of devotion, which is demanding, it is not devotion, it is a cartoon of devotion. Then what is that which is making one firmly abide in the devotion? Is this knowledge. And here, for this purpose, for the fulfillment of the devotion, as explained in the 12th chapter, the 13th chapter begins. See how beautifully the whole topic is brought out. So, two aspects are taken in this introduction. First, the knowledge aspect, and second is the devotion aspect. And what is the meaning of this thing? The meaning is, knowledge and devotion, they are not two. They are one and the same. Those who fight that devotion is superior than knowledge, and those who say knowledge alone is the reality, devotion is only nonsense, ubhautau na vijanita. Both of them know not. Do you remember we have gone to Kirtan, and in that Kirtan, how devotion alone is the real knowledge has no meaning and all that. So, but this we should take as a arthavad, because he is addressing to the crowd who have nothing to do with anything except tamaku and chuna. Now what will you talk to them, Bhagavad Gita? Therefore, prakriti cha trigunatmika sarva karya karana vishayakarena parinita purushasya bhoga apavargartha kartavyataya देहेन्द्रिय आदिकारेण संहन्यते सहा अयम संगातः idam shariram tat etat. Now we have seen in our Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, the Prakriti is for what? Purushasya bhogapa vargartham Prakriti. Why this world is? For whom? For the Purusha. It is something like, a person gets married to a girl. Now, he gets married to a girl for what purpose? For two purpose. Bhoga apavargartha. He will have all his desires fulfilled at home, and by living at home, he will be able to spiritually progress and attain oneness with the Lord. In the same manner, this Prakriti is providing a home and the instrument of indulgence for the Purusha. That is why Trigunatmika Prakriti Sarva Karya Karana Vishayakarena Parinata. So this Prakriti gets modified in the body as well as the different instruments. Now go to the Patanjali Yoga Darshan introduction. There we have seen Prakriti is what? Avyaya, Avyakta or Alinga Parinama. Then comes the Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is the Prathama Linga Parinama, or it is called as the Buddhi. And then comes the Ahankara, or it comes the Virata, and or rather the Asmita Tattva. And from there, Pancha Mahabhutas, Tanmatras, and Ekadashani Indriyani. So these 24 things and the Pancha Mahabhutas, these 24 things put together is Prakriti. And what for that is only Purushasya Bhogapa Vargartha. For the Bhoga and Apavarga, for the experiences of this world and for the liberation from this world, Prakriti Parinata gets herself modified in the form of Deha Indriya Adi Akarena, gets modified in the form of the body and Indriya, etc. And Samhanyate becomes associated, organized, and Sahayam Sangataha Deha Idam Shariram. And this assembly of all these things put together is called as Deha. Therefore, Deha is called as Sanghata. And the purpose of this particular word is, there is a sutra, Sanghatasya Pararthatvat. Sanghatasya Pararthatvat means, wherever there is an assembly of parts, that assembly of parts is meant for someone other who is other than all the parts. See? Sanghatasya Pararthatvat. Now, two examples I'll give you. One example, car. What is a car now? If you have seen the car factory, there is something called as the assembly line. In that assembly line, first the chassis comes, and then from the chassis it goes to the next step, and then the wheels are fixed and this and that. Slowly all the different parts are assembled, and after the complete assembly is done, the car comes out. So car is an assembly of parts. Now the question is the car meant for the wheels? No. Wheels are meant for the car. Then is the car meant for the steering? No. The steering is meant for the car. Then are the seats meant for the car? No. The moment you go slowly, you come to know that the body, which is assembly of the various things together, it is not for themselves. Then it is for pararthatvat, for someone else. So like the car is meant for the owner of the car, similarly the body is meant for the owner of the body, and he is the kshetrajna. Therefore, deha, this word is diha upachaye. This is the dhatu. Upachaya means pulling together all the sense organs of action, antakaran, chatushtaya, pancha jnanendriyas, pancha karmendriyas, and then the pancha mahabhutas, tanmatras, all of them have been pulled together and a heap is formed. That is called as the deha. Therefore, whether you say deha, diha upachaya, or you say sanghata, the assembly, the purpose of using these words is to bring to our notice that the eyes are not for themselves, but they are for someone else. The nose is meant for not itself, but for someone else. So there is an embodied one in the body for whom the body is. Therefore, Purushasya, for the Jiva, for the Purusha, Bhoga Apavargartha, Kartavyataya, Dehendriyadi Akarena, Samhanyate Sa Ayam Sangataha, Idam Shariram Etad. This is how this verse is the first verse in the 13th chapter. There is one more verse in the 13th chapter, because of which Bhagavad Gita becomes 701 verses. But Bhagavad Gita is also called as Saptashati, because there are only 700 verses. Now this one verse is attributed to Madhusudan Saraswati Ji Maharaj. And because of this verse, when you add, it is added, it is not in the original Mahabharata. That is why Bhagwan Shankara's commentary is not on that. So this verse is attributed to Madhusudan Saraswati, and there it is easier for us to get to know what are the topics dealt with in this 13th chapter. But that is losing the thrill and the joy of discovery. Therefore, it is good some Mahatmas accept it and comment on that. Bhagavan Shankara has not accepted it because Madhusudan Saraswati Ji came far later after him, and therefore we will also not take in discussion when we are talking Bhagavad Gita with the Shankara's commentary. Now here Bhagwan begins his talk to Arjun. Athatrayodashodhyayaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramitya Vidhiyate Etadyo Vetti Tam Praho Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. This is the declaration given by the Lord. Therefore, it is an eternal principle. An eternal principle is not limited by time, space, object, situation, or a particular person. Like the law of gravity is ever the same. In the same manner, what is said by Bhagwan, this is the eternal principle. It is the same always. Now what is this eternal principle? Idam iti sarvanamna uktam vishinashti shariram iti. Idam shariram. See, in the Sanskrit language, if you take the word idam, it means this. And idam is used to indicate the proximity. For example, if I say, idam pustakam, this book, it is nearer. And that tree, so idam will be nearer and tad will be distant. So idam shariram, this is one meaning. According to Sanskrit, sarvanam or the pronoun. But in our Vedanta Shastra, idam is not limited only to this meaning. Therefore, abhidhiyate. Then what is meant by idam? Idam iti sarvanamna. By this pronoun idam, uktam vishinashti shariram iti. What is meant is this body or anything which is recognized as this. So the total objective perception is included by the word idam. This is the basic difference of usage of the word idam according to Vedanta and according to the Sanskrit grammar. That is why, these are two very clear things. Many times we do not understand Sanskrit is only a language and Vedanta is the subject. So Sanskrit is the language to learn the subject. And therefore, we use the same Sanskrit words with a different meaning, for a particular purpose. If that is not known, and we simply go on imagining, I know Sanskrit. Like, some people, when they come and talk to me, they say, Swamiji, up to the 6th standard I had studied Sanskrit during my childhood. What is your age now? 98. Imagine. So, when you were in the 6th standard, that time you have studied Sanskrit, and therefore I know Sanskrit. What is the fun in that? So, because we are able to read, that doesn't mean we know the Sanskrit language. And because we know the Sanskrit language, that doesn't mean we know the Vedanta. Because every subject has its own technical vocabulary. So, idam iti sarvanamna uktam vishinashti shariram iti. So, everything that is recognized as not I, not I, not I is called as shariram. Now, this shariram, idam shariram konteya kshetram ityabhidiyate. It is abhidiyate. It is called as kshetra. So the body is called as not body. The body is called as kshetra. See? This lady is not called as lady. She is my wife. So she is a lady, no doubt, but my wife. Similarly, the sharira, the body is called as kshetra. Now why this body is called as kshetra? Because Bhagavan's commentary is very beautiful. Kshatatranat. Kshatatranat means everybody tries to protect his body from destruction. Kshatatranat. Everybody. Therefore, when you take this definition, shariram or the kshetra, it is not applicable only to you and me. See? Even if you take a mosquito and want to kill that mosquito, the mosquito runs away. Why? Wants to protect his body. Kshatatranat. Therefore, it is called as the shariram or the kshetram. Now, while we are studying this, we will try to emphasize this point again and again, that we are not going to focus attention body as my body or your body, or body as a general common noun. Like, if you go to UP, Gupta is a common noun. It is not a proper noun, because any stone you lift, there is a Gupta there. Similarly, Deha or the body is a common noun. And what is that common noun? Kshatatranat, Deha, Kshetra. Every body, in whichever body you try to destroy it, there is a protection. Kshatatranat. Second is Kshayat. Every body is slowly subjected to the destruction. Whether it is the body of a human being or animal or plant or a yogi or a bhogi, every body has ultimately to be destroyed. Kshayat kshetram. Now, when we understand this, now see what is important. One is information that we got. Second is, are we interacting with the information? And if we interact with the information, we will definitely get the wisdom. And what is the wisdom? Kshayat kshetram. If everybody is subjected to slow and steady destruction, therefore accept it gracefully. Never have the wrong notion that we will remain healthy all the time. We are going to be here eternally. No. The body will have its own way. You cannot stop what are the problems going to come to your body. This is how it is such a great fun and contradiction that we see. One way we say that jati ayur bhogaha are destined already according to the karma vipaka. And then in this body having come, we are constantly struggling to do this, to do that, so that we will not suffer. There is nothing like that. You are going to have the cough and cold, you are going to have. The only thing is you go through, that's it. Don't make that as the issue of life. See? It is so important. So, first is kshatatranat, second is kshayat, third is ksharanat. In the Hindi this thing, what you call translation, he has not given this word, ksharanat. Ksharanat means what? That which is constantly leaking. Is it not? Body is constantly leaking because it is extremely holy. All kinds of, what you call, the sweat. That's why, many times, when people don't take bath regularly, and their body is constantly emitting that sweating, and it smells so bad. Some people, I don't know whether disease or what, they smell so awful. Also, it depends on the food habit, what kind of food habit you have. There are people, where I have seen some blacks from Africa, they eat so much of non-vegetarian, improperly cooked and all that. If you just sit near them, or rather they happen to sit near you, you are booked for the whole day and night. They are smelling like, the lions and the tiger, all smell. So, ksharanat, something or the other constantly coming out. There is nothing that comes out of the body worthy of mentioning in public. Ksharanat. Then the fourth meaning, kshatravadva aspin karma phala nirvritte. Or like a farmer who is sowing the seeds in his field and harvesting the harvest of crop. In the same manner, the body is like a field where we sow the seed of karma and harvest the karma phala. Therefore, it is called as kshetram. See? Kshatatranat, kshayat, ksharanat, kshatravadva aspin karma phala nirvrittehe kshetram iti. Therefore, it is called as kshetra. In this manner, this body is called as kshetra. So, idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate. Now here Bhagavan has addressed Arjuna as Kaunteya, Kuntiputra. Kunta means extremely sharp. So, Kaunteya, the son of that Kunti, who was extremely intelligent and sharp. How she was extremely intelligent and sharp? Because she has asked from the Lord, "O Lord, give me all the miseries in the world so that I don't forget you." And see the beauty in this demand. Many people take it in a very negative way. We should ask God, "Oh God, give me all the problems, because after every problem you come." Will you call that as a problem? If you go, or if you book your ticket early, you get an apex fare, a lower rate. Will you call it as a problem or it is an asset? In the same manner, if a problem or difficulty is followed by the vision or the grace of the Lord, it is not a problem at all. So, she was so intelligent. Of such a intelligent mother, you are the child. Therefore, Arjuna, understand, this body is this. Kshatatranat, everybody is trying to protect this body. Second thing, Kshayat, it is constantly leading to its own self-destruction. Ksharanat, it is constantly leaking from all the holes. And Kshatravattvasmin karma phala nivrittehe, like the farmer harvesting the crops from the field, we harvest the crops of karma phala, because we can do karma only through the body. And therefore, this is called as kshetram. Iti shabda evam shabda padarthakaha kshetram iti evam abhidiyate katyate. So here the word iti is meant to say evam. In this manner, the body is called as the kshetram. Now, etat shariram kshetram yo vetti vijanati apada talamastakam jnanena vishayi karoti svabhavikena औपदेशिकेन वा वेदनेन विषयी करोति विभाकशः तम वेदितारं प्राहो कथयन्ति क्षेत्रज्ञ इति. See, fortunately, recently we have seen in our Vibhuti Pad, what we have seen, that when we do the Sayyama, we are able to know the complete details about the body, is it not? Where we do the Sayyama? Nabhi chakre Sayyamat Kaya Vyuha Jnanam. So when we do this Sayyama, Kaya Vyuha Jnanam, all the details about the body are completely clearly brought out. Now be very attentive. After these things are brought out, now the question is, how do we interact with that information? If you interact with that information in such a manner that you develop more and more power and become something different from other, then you are caught up in the Prakriti. And if you find out all the details about this and come to know what is that, it is kshetram. Any body, whatever number of years it lives, it is going to die. Therefore, by being body all the time is not the ultimate in life. And therefore, use the body to the best and get out of the body cheerfully. Before the body drops us, we should have the capacity to drop the body. Commit suicide? No. So this body identification, dehatma bhava, has to be rejected. For that purpose is this kaya vyuha jnanam. Now imagine, when we look at our body, how cute, how neat, how smart and how good and all that. Now kaya vyuha jnanam, open, take out the skin. Are Ram Ram Ram, all blood. Take out the blood, all muscle, look so ugly and horrible. Then all those veins and arteries and the fat and then their bones and then the bone marrow. Aha! What is their worth in this world to get attached to? So the purpose of this knowledge is not to keep the body healthy. The purpose of this knowledge is to get out of the body identification. That is the purpose. That is why, the knowledge of the Prakriti is to know that all the Vikrutis are in the Prakriti. So how long will you go on controlling the Prakriti? At the most, you will attain Samadhi. What next? Where is Samadhi? Samadhi is only in the Upadhi. It is not in the Paramatma or the Purusha. Therefore, the purpose of this is what? Etat shariram kshetram yo vetti vijanati. He who knows this body. How he knows this body? Apada talamastakam. Apada, starting from the foot up to the top. Apada talamastakam. Jnanena vishayi karoti. See? Means what? He who is able to observe his body as he is able to observe everybody's body. See what a difference it is now? he who is able to observe this body as an object of knowledge means what? He who is functioning through the body, but he who is not living as the body, he is called as the Kshetrajna. Now what will happen as a result? As a result, it will happen that this knower of all the bodies is one. There are not many. This is what is the ultimate in the second verse. So, yo vetti vijanati apada talamastakam jnanena vishayi karoti swabhavikena aupadishekena va. Either naturally. There are people who are, because of their sadhana in the earlier life, they have come to this level of swabhava, that they are able to stand apart from the body and are able to know the functioning and everything about the body and do not live with the body identification. Like many Siddha Purushas which are born. They are not born with the body identification. They are born with a clear body disidentification and therefore they use the body for their further sadhana. Swabhavikena or aupadishikena, or we are able to observe this body by getting the upadesha from the teacher or from the scriptures. Va vedanena vishayi karoti vibhagashaha, the third option. Or one is able to vedanena, by one's own experience is vibhagashaha vishayi karoti, is very clearly able to recognize. This is the purpose of our Vibhuti Pada when we are trying to learn. See, when we go still further, the thought is so deep. When the Buddhi Tattva has taken the shape of a particular object, and in that shape of the mind or the Buddhi Tattva of that object, when the Purusha is reflected as a Pratibimba, then he becomes a Bhogi. And if the Buddhi Tattva is free from the thought, has not taken any shape of any object, Vritti Rahita Buddhi Tattva, in that Vritti Rahita Buddhi Tattva, when the Chaitanya Prakasha, the Purusha Tattva reflects, that becomes the point where you focus attention and from there you merge in the absolute. Something like when you look at the reflection of the sun disk in the water, from there you can focus attention to the original sun in the sky. In the same manner, when we are able to see this Purusha Tattva reflected in the Buddhi Tattva, which is free from the thoughts, from there we can go to the absolute reality. That is why the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is given so much of importance. But in that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what people do, their attention is only on the freedom from the thought and not the reflected consciousness, which is the indicator of the absolute consciousness. Isko pakad lo Maharaj. Then only we are understanding what Bhagavan Shankara is saying. So, etat shariram kshetram yo veti vijanati apada talamastakam jnanena vishayi karoti swabhavikena aupadishikena va vedanena vishayi karoti vibhagashaha, part by part. How we do part by part? By this Sayyama. Kantagupe Sayyamat, Kshutpipasa. What is that? Kshutpipasa, Kshayaha. One by one, go on doing this Sayyama, you will be very clearly able to, it becomes a great fun at it. You try this. It is such a great fun. And in that you slowly evolve. Rather than worrying, why is it? Now you start playing with yourself. Now, Vishaya, this Kantakupe, so I start focusing attention on the Kantakupa. Now, other than the Kantakupa, there is nothing. So, fix the mind, Trayam Ekatra Sayyamaha. In the Kantakupa is the Vishaya, Kantakupa is the Desha. So, Vishaya, because of that, Dhyana, Desha, because of that, Dharana, and for a long period of time, therefore, Samadhi. So, when you focus attention on these one, all the three of them, then see what happens. Now we are clear about it. Now we are doing this Sayyama Abhyas. Slowly, 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 all the secrets of Prakriti will be revealed. Because what is in the Pinda, that alone is in the Brahmanda. So, Vibhakashahatam Veditaram Kshetradnya iti Prahuhu. So, those who are the knower of these details regarding the Kshetra and Kshetradnya, they call it that the knower is the Kshetradnya and the known is the Kshetra. Iti Shabda evam Shabda Padarthaka eva Purva Kshetradni iti evam Ahuhu. So there are now two things. One is the objective aspect of, and second is the subjective aspect of. So the Kshetrajna is the knower and Kshetra is the known. Kshetrajna is the Aham Vritti and Kshetra is the Idam Vrittaya. Kshetra is constantly changing. Kshatatranat Kshayat Kharanat Kshetravadva Ek Asmin Karma Phala Nirvrutte, and Kshetrajna is but one, who is illuminating all the changes in the Kshetra. Those who know this, those who are established in this knowledge, they call this is as the Kshetrajna. Te tadvidaha. Tau Kshetrajna Kshetrajna ye vidanti te tadvidaha. And who are those people? Tadvidaha. They very clearly know. Be very attentive. Kshetra is known. Kshetrajna is also known. Idam and Aham. When both of them become the object of knowledge, you have transcended the duality. Only knowing the Kshetra and maintaining the Aham is Jiva Bhava. And knowing the Kshetra as well as the Jiva is going beyond the relativity. They are called as Tadvida. Therefore, Bhagavan Shankara said, Tau Kshetra the Kshetrajna ye vidanti. Both of them are to be known. Means what? When we are able to experience anything in this world, and then we are able to experience also the experiencer. Both. The known as well as the knower are illumined by that light which is neither the known nor the knower. They are called as Tadvidaha. They call this body as the Kshetra and the knower of the body as the Kshetrajna. Now here the Kshetrajna is the one which will be creating a lot of arguments in the next verse. Because we have understood there are so many bodies, and the knower of the body is the Kshetrajna. Naturally there will be so many Kshetrajnas, therefore so many Jivas. It is so easy to understand. No? Per head, one Jiva. Finish. Over. Now what is to be done? Now start your yoga abhyas. And come to a point what? I am a superior Jiva than you. Like the government servants. Basically they are servants. But in that also there is a hierarchy. I am the boss, you are a subordinate. But they forget that they are servants. So one servant trying to be the boss of other servant. The highest comedy in the whole world. So, Tadvidaha tau kshetra kshetrajnyo ye vitanti te tadvidaha. Now what is that? Evam kshetra kshetrajna ukto kim etavan matrena jnanena jnatavyo iti na iti uchyate. So only this is to be known. Body is the kshetra and the knower is the kshetrajna. Over. Etavan matrena jnanena. Only by this knowledge they become the tadvidaha. So it is something like, we have seen in our Panchadashi that he who knows Chaturveda, he will get the prize. Yes, I know. What? My name is also Chaturvedi and there are 4 Vedas. Now give me the prize. So I also know Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Therefore I am Tadvidaha? No. Then what is that? This is the second verse. We'll take next time. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.